you are part of, you're an employee of USEFP, that makes you ineligible to apply for Fulbright scholarship, and along with you, your family as well.
Oh, yes, you are absolutely right.
But let's put an hypothetical in front of you. Imagine if you could apply for the Fulbright scholarship. What field would you enter, and what kind of area of focus will you take upon for your studies over there?
I don't even have to think about it. I've always been interested in law.
Law.
So,
Lovely.
although I couldn't, for some odd reason, I have been a history student all my life, studying European and American history,
Right.
and history of Indo-Pakistan as well. But I've always been interested in law.
Yeah.
So maybe outside my studies, outside my profession, I'm still interested in reading law books,
Right.
crime stories,
Love it.
something like that.
Do you have like
So
an
if I
ideal-
would have been applied for the Fulbright, I definitely would have applied for.
So do you have an ideal
law
school
field.
in mind? That if I had studied in this university, for
Ideal
law-
school, not necessarily in the US, because there are several very good law schools. So
Imagine
and
this was a
basi-
Fulbright application,
and
and you had
basi-
to write 4 preferred universities.
preferred university. If I go by the experience that we had been reading in the application,
Yeah.
and several thousands of them every year, that people start with.
Ivy Leagues.
I believe people start with. If going by that, it's not my preference, but I'm just quoting that if you give it a chance to anybody in the law, people will start from Harvard, Yale,
Definitely.
Stanford, Princeton. So, but no,
Top 4
but no,
right there.
tough for it, because people don't understand that we need to place you in the different universities as well, US universities. This wish list, even most of the US students, those who are Americans, they can't pursue these
Right.
wish lists. So it is difficult for us to place students there. Although Fulbright does try to place people. People go to Harvard School. People go to Harvard School of Education as well, Kennedy School of Government, and all other different universities, and they are all very good. Here in Pakistan, the problem is that the people only have heard about, most of the people only have heard about 20 or 25 American universities.
Right.
So they try to rate, whenever you ask them, they always try to rate that this is top ranking, this is low
Yeah.
ranking. So
Sometimes they don't
honestly,
even-
we don't believe in that.
They don't even, sometimes they just look at the university ranking and not the school ranking in that particular university. So one university could be really good for, let's say, international development, but not as good for maybe engineering. But that's something they don't take into consideration when they're sometimes applying for the application. They just directly look, oh,
This is the stage that we will be facing in just beginning second, third week of March, and then going into April, May,
Yeah.
sometimes June as well.
Yeah.
But at the placement process, that we'll be
Yes.
hearing this. Another interesting story was, I can share it with you, that there was a student who was placed in. Basically, he was rejected from Harvard,
Yeah.
and he was rejected from Berkeley,
yes.
and he got into New York University and Emory University, which is again a very, very good business school. And then I heard that my program officer, one of my team members, colleagues, came to me with his request. That he said that I just want to withdraw from this program because I'm not going to Harvard, so there's
What's
no
the point?
point in what's the
Wow.
point in availing this Fulbright scholarship. I tried to talk to him. Even I asked our executive director, Ms. Rita Akhtar, to talk to him. And then both of us, when we talked to him, we tried to convince him that this is the biggest mistake you're going to
Exactly.
make in your life. But I don't know. Somehow he did agree to it, and
Yeah, you guys must have get a lot of
he just
interesting cases.
withdrew from the program.
That is
Very sad,
disappointing.
very, very
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah, because it's not just, you're not just going for this particular master's, you're joining a network in itself. You become an alumni of this network and you are joined by other alumni as well. And that in itself is sort of a secondary advantage to whatever you're getting as a Fulbright scholar. So I think that's something that people need to consider as well. But, like I said, you guys at the USEFP and program officers particularly who have to deal with the applicants directly must have a lot of interesting stories to tell. And obviously considering now,
Every day there's something different.
do you guys have
Al-
a debriefing of
Although like myself, I've been working here for 18 years now, and whenever we think that okay, we have we have done this, we have done
Yeah.
everything, we have gone through everything. No, but because we are dealing with the human beings, people, and very, very smart people.
Yes.
Very, very smart people, those who have been selected for the Fulbright. We are dealing with them. So there's always something new. Always. Oh my God, we haven't faced this situation ever. So
They're
let's think
keeping
about
them
it.
on your toes. You
Yes,
know?
always, always.
I mean, this particular stage as well is interesting for the applicants who are going to be going for the 2023 scholarship. Is now their placement plans are coming in. Some of them like where they're going to be placed. Maybe some of them don't like where they're going to be placed. So that is going to be a hurdle for you guys as well to solve through.
Every year.
Every year.
Year we go through this. Every year. And people don't realize that every school that we are placing them, because again, our partners, IAE, Institute of International Education, they've been doing this for 5-6 decades now, or maybe more than that. So they are expert. They have experts in every field. They go through the application, then they come up with a submission plan. And in the submission plan, there are some safety net schools as well, 1 or 2. We have to keep them. We don't want to just waste the slots.
Exactly.
So we have to keep the 1 or 2 balanced safety net schools as well. So, but people don't realize that they should see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And people are, like I said, that they are very, very smart people. We also find it most of the time now, and thank God we are now able to figure it out as well, that people taking those some statements from the website of the universities and quoting that, okay, I'm interested in this professor teaching this. So we can't limit our research or search for these schools only.
Yes.
Because if somebody is mentioning that, okay, this is good, this is very good, that you have researched your discipline in the different universities and you're given your preferences, and they are well thought out preferences. We always try to honor well thought out presentations, preferences in the application. But after that, as you know, because you are going through this process, we don't ask for the preferences.
Yeah.
After the application, we don't ask them. There is a page in the application. So if you have not written any preferences in that, or you have not researched those preferences, just Ivy League schools, that is not possible for us to.
Actually, I feel like USEFP does actually a very good job in accommodating the applicants as well, because they do send you your finalized submission plan and they ask for your consent as well before finalizing it. And if there is some issue with it, that you might feel like, okay, maybe this school is not particularly aligned with my study objectives, then they do accommodate that request if you make that. For me particularly, I was placed, one of my submission plan included University of Denver, but that particular program was more economics focused and quantitative, while my focus was more qualitative and on this side. So I did put that forth to my program officer. He accommodated my request. He then asked for suggestions. Okay, what would you prefer instead of this? I gave him 2 universities, X and Y, and they chose between that. So I was very happy with how that went.
If they are reasonable, yes, we do. If they are reasonable choices, with the well-researched choices, we do try to accommodate. Sometimes we go a little out of way as well. But most of the time, it's not possible for us. If people are just adamant about in going to some of the, if they are talking only about the top ranked universities, we don't believe in that. There are no top ranked universities. It depends upon your field, upon your school, upon your discipline, upon your interest, and on top of that, that you need to be placed there.
Exactly.
We don't want everybody to be rejected.
Exactly.
Just applying everybody to the Ivy League schools and everybody will be rejected.
Exactly.
Because being unsuccessful, being declared unsuccessful, is a withdrawal.
Oh, right.
It's a withdrawal. If somebody is declared unsuccessful after so many attempts, we try to get out of our way as well. IE also, but if you are unsuccessful, not placed anywhere, then.
Any advice do you have for the applicants that are going into the Fulbright program 2023? So those are who are yet to be placed for this program. You gave the advice for the applicants who will be applying in 2024. But what about the ones that are going through the process right now of being placed? Do you have any
advice? Have faith in us. The school
Trust
we
us.
are trust us. The school we are sending you is closest enough to your study objectives.
Right.
Not necessarily 100%, but at least 95, 96%, which should be good enough.
And what about the people who are scared that they'll get rejected from all of their schools? What do you have to say to them?
We are trying. We always try. But still, then there are one or two people every year, those who got declared unsuccessful. But there must be some reasons. There are always some reasons. Not necessarily the same reasons for everybody. But there are. But still, this should be hopeful because this is the time. Normally, for the master student, we apply to through IAE to 4 different schools, including the safety net. And for the PhDs, we apply for the 5 schools.
Yeah.
So sometimes we do exceed it to 6 or 7 for the PhDs, or 4 to 5 for the master students. So we try our best because honestly, when we select somebody, we do really want them to go. First of all, we don't want to get the slots wasted, and with the money and the effort, and then obviously, although maybe people think that these are just numbers for us, but no, not necessarily. We are dealing with the human beings and the smart human beings, future of this country. So we do get attached to them on a professional level only. So we do really sincerely try to place each and everybody.
Yeah, that is
in the school which is the closest match to them. I must repeat it, that the closest match to their study objectives.
I mean, the USEFP office definitely knows which schools are best for what, and have some faith. That is sir's advice.
Yes, trust us.
So before we end this podcast, sir, how would you describe the Fulbright scholarship in 3 words?
3 words.
Yes.
Prestigious, achievable, success.
You heard it here. 3 words for the Fulbright scholarship. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. It was lovely having you here, and I hope the people who are watching this are going to take away some key takeaways from this and apply for the Fulbright scholarship as soon as they can. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Creators Studio. This is Mahnoor Ahmed.
Thank you, Mahnoor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And we'll see you guys later.